My name is Rachel Livedalen. I'm an artist. I specialize in printmaking and painting. I love working with paper. It's very tactile, so it feels really intimate. It's versatile too. I print with paper, I draw with paper, paint on paper, cut paper, collage, laser cut paper. So I like the range that you can get with paper. And even in a number of my paintings, I work with paper beforehand, sometimes making collages or using found paper to create scans and using those photographs as a starting point to build up those layers. Paper as opposed to painting on canvas, I suppose, it's harder to hide those underlying layers. You can build up the surface, but the layering is really apparent. So it has almost like a history to it. You can really see like each move that's been made on the surface of the paper. So I've been working with imagery of Greco-Roman statuary, predominantly images of women, as a way of kind of marking the history of Western art and how we view representation of femininity throughout Western art history. So I can borrow those images, but then combine them with more contemporary references, color palettes, shapes. And so there's these two worlds that meet in the imagery. And yes, I have been playing a lot with portals, different windows, organizational structures, to really think about how we understand art history. So there are a few works in the show that reference indexes from books. The one behind me is an index of names. So it's all the names of these Greco-Roman artists who, you know, most of them I certainly have not heard of. Some are very specific, like a gem engraver. And then there's another work in the show that references an index where you have each topic organized alphabetically and how to find it in the book. And I'm fascinated by how we use organizational structures like indexes, table of contents, grids to better understand big ideas like beauty, art, history, etc. In the show, there's an installation of daisy chain grids. So I've made these daisy chains. I've been working with daisy chains for a bit. They're just these silly little daisies that repeat over and over again. And I made a digital brush of daisy chains so I can draw with my hand on a computer screen an imperfect line. So the grid in the exhibition is a grid, but it shakes, it moves, it's a little wobbly. So it creates this organized structure to view a series of framed works on paper. Those works on paper are prints, drawings, paintings, and they are somewhat grouped, like there's a few pieces that connect to one another, but the grid structure is a way for me to combine all of these fragments or moments into one larger artwork or one larger reading of these little art nuggets. They're very playful. Some reference stickers. The daisy chain itself is very playful. You know, I think we think of like the grid in art history as like being very serious. It's how we organize things. But my grid is not so serious. It's much more whimsical, yet still following the same purpose and intent. I like to collect items as references that bring in contemporary culture. And when I use references from contemporary culture, they're like cheap ephemera, like stickers. My most recent purchase was nail stickers in the shapes of cherries and strawberries and apples. They're really cute. They come in like a clear backing. Some of my works use like a rainbow palette, full spectrum of color, vibrant color, but that tends to be balanced with a lot of grayscale. Often I'll work with found imagery, photographs, scans of books, and those will operate as like the backing grayscale image, and then I'll build really vibrant color, rainbow colors on top. Printmaking has a wide variety of incredible techniques. There are a few works in my daisy chain grid that are intaglio prints, so they're done on metal plates. No one looking at the work knows that that's how they're made, but I really kind of, nerd out about all of the finite techniques, spit bite aquatint, soft ground etching, hard ground etching, multiple plates. The fun thing about printmaking is you can use all these like special tricks or techniques to make marks or texture that's really unique to that process, that would be really difficult to mimic in painting and drawing. I don't use a lot of recycled materials. I certainly recycle references. I'll use references in some works, and then they'll make their way into future works too. In my studio, I tend to have just like piles or drawers of source material that I keep going back to over and over again. In fact, the daisy chains are becoming one of those symbols or references that is recycled in multiple works. Sticker shapes are recycled in multiple works. In fact, there's a number of repeating sticker shapes in the works that are behind me.